how to use headphones with DJ Pro. I'm DJ Spiegel Spin, and I'm going to show you how. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to access the controls for the headphones within the app if you're just using the iPad. And then I'm also going to go in detail with how to change the mappings in the settings on your controller so you could get the full use of your headphones when you're DJing. So believe it or not, headphones aren't just to make you look cool while you're DJing. There's multiple ways that you could use them to make your sets better and to save you time and help you be more creative while you're DJing. So in this video, I'm going through all the ways that I use the headphones to help me out while I'm DJing. I'm going to talk about DJing with just the iPad and headphones. This is possible if you have a output splitter. Tractor makes one, and then other companies make them. It's one headphone jack, and then it goes to two of these outputs. I used to have one. I don't know where I put it, but that will make it so you plug your headphones into one of them, and then you can plug your speakers into the other. And then this gives you the ability to DJ with the headphones. So once you plug in your output splitter and your headphones, you're going to want to go over here where it says split output. And what you're going to want to do is turn that on. This makes it so that the app recognizes that you have one of those splitters. And here you have the controls. This will let you know the volume of your headphones. This is not the master volume coming out of the speakers. It's just the volume in your headphones. So make it a volume where you could hear it well over the music, but the other people can't hear what's coming out through your headphones. And then down here is the Q mix. This is really cool because if you have one deck playing and then you're listening to another deck through the headphones, you could listen to those two songs mixed together without it coming out of the speakers. So you could see if the mix is good, see if the beats are aligned, and then once it is, then you could play both tracks together. So that's how you set up. Also, one thing to remember is if you have one of the new iPads like me, it only has one USB-C port. It does not have the headphone jack. I didn't want to get the new iPad because the old one had the headphone jack. So you could just plug in the splitter into the headphone jack, and then you could charge the iPad while you're using it. So now they make all kinds of adapters. So you get something like this. This plugs in the USB-C, and then you could plug your adapter in, and then you could plug your headphones and your speakers in. And then also, if you wanted to charge the iPad while you were using it, which would be smart because if the iPad dies, then your set's done. So you get something like this. There's so many to choose from. Just type in USB-C accessories, and it goes into your iPad, and then you could plug the headphones into another section, and then you could plug a charger in. So it's going to give you a notification letting you know that split output mode is on. So if you're not using a headphone splitter and you accidentally leave this on, it's going to make things sound weird. Like this was what happened to me when I first started using the app. I had split output on, and then I was like, why does it sound weird and stuff? Because split output was on and my output wasn't split. So just keep that in mind with the split output. So since we have an adapter in, let's go. Okay, so now we're in classic mode, and I'm going to show you how to access the headphones. What you could do is over here to the right above where the deck is and right by the looper is a headphone button. So now you could set that you want this side to hear through the headphones, and then you will only hear that through the headphones. You will not hear it through the speakers. So right now this is playing. There's nothing playing for you guys, and I'm hearing the full song in my headphones. So it works on both sides, and it moves around a little bit, I think, when you change the screens in here, but it still is up at the top over there. So another thing is that you could set it to automatically do this. So when you first open the app, as long as you don't change it, it's set to have the headphones on the deck that the crossfader is not on. So if you look to the top at the screen, it's on this deck right now, and as I move the crossfader past the middle all the way to the end, it switches the headphones. so you don't have to worry about manually switching which deck you're listening to. It does it automatically. And you could turn this off by going over here. So to turn this off, what you do is you go over here to in settings, and then you go to mixer, and then it says down here all the way at the bottom, it says pre-queuing auto select, and you could turn that off, and then when that's off, it'll make it so it doesn't automatically change where the headphones are. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend just leaving it on, but if it bothers you, then you have access to turn it off. And then if you go into classic mode, the headphones are right here. It's the same thing. They're moved a little bit, but that's where you can find them, and that's the symbol for them. So now you know how to access them, and you know how they work within the app. When and why would you use headphones? So the first thing is obvious, and DJ's been doing this back when it was vinyl turntables and they didn't have screens or anything, so they had to actually hear with their ears to match the beats up manually because there's no sync button and no screen. So what you would do is you would have one deck playing, and that would be playing to the audience, and then you'd be listening to the other deck, and you'd be adjusting the BPMs manually so that you got the BPMs right, and then you'd be nudging the track so that the beats are lined up. So even though we don't have to do that, and you could use the sync button and do non-manual beat matches, if you still like to test your skills and you still like to practice knowing how to do that, you can do that with this app. With just your iPad and your headphones, you could practice manually beat matching, which will prepare you for if you're using club level professional $1,000 equipment. So I think that's really cool, and don't miss out on this feature. Make sure you learn how to beat match, and it's really the most fun thing to do while you're DJing. And then also another thing is, if you want to hear if a song has vocals, or if you want to hear how a song's going to end, what you could do, here's a little trick I learned. What you could do is you click up here and you can double the track. So now both tracks are playing at the same time in the song. And what you do is you take the song that the audience isn't listening to that's in your headphones, and you could hear how the song ends. So it's a good trick if you have a request or a song that you forgot how it ended and you don't know how to mix out of it. What you can do is you could use your headphones and then fast forward to the end and see how that song's going to end. So don't think that using headphones is cheating. Using headphones is a part of DJing, and it's a tool that you have, and make sure that you use it. So now let's plug in this controller, and I'm going to show you guys how to access it through the mapping settings, how to turn stuff on, how to turn stuff off. Now, if you want to avoid getting all those adapters I was talking about, then just get yourself one of these mini controllers. I'll have links down below so you could grab one. It's like $90, and you don't have to worry about those adapters. It has a dedicated headphone section, so you just plug your headphones into that part, and then you plug your speakers into here, and then you have headphones and you have the speakers, and it's a professional DJ setup for a very affordable price. So now let's say you wanted to change what the settings were, because on this controller it has the same thing. It automatically switches if you have that setting on that we were talking about, or you could press these manually. And then up here is the Q level, that you could hear the Q mix, and then you have master volume, and then you have volume for that. I don't think it gives you volume for the headphones. So now let's change that. So if we want to change that, we go over here to Midi Devices. You click on the controller you want to change, and now you're wondering how do you pick which button to change. All you do is you press it right here. So now you're going to press this button, and now this is the controls of this button. So the target, do you want it to be the mixer, or do you want it to be something else? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do deck 1, and then I'm going to make it do, I'm going to go down to effects, FX1 enabled. Save. Now I have, instead of this turning the headphones on, which is useless because I just taught you guys how to do it with it automatically does it with the crossfader. Now we have an effect button when this controller didn't have an effect button. So if you got one of these controllers or an old controller and you're like, I really wish I had effects buttons, I really wish I had a filter knob, you could change some of the headphones and do the loop arounds, and some of these headphone buttons could be used for really cool stuff like effects. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind with the headphones is, are you going to use headphones that much? When I use this controller, it's usually just backyard parties and like just people hanging out and stuff. So I don't need to be mixing all professionally with the headphones. So I'll make the headphone, I'll get rid of the Q button here, and then I could just use it through the settings here if I wanted to. I can get rid of the master volume up here, and then you can just change it down here. So don't be afraid. I made other videos that go into more detail on how to map the controllers, but to do it, you just go to Midi Device, you click on the controller, and then you turn the knob or press the button, and then you could change what it does. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps you not only look cool wearing your headphones, but helps your DJing overall. Please subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends. I love making videos about DJing and DJing with the iPad.